Hello there, and welcome back to MBA Season 12, in which your New South Wailmers will be competing, and hopefully uploading again after another hiatus. We finished the PMC with a 2-7 record and overall last place in our conference. If you do want to see those videos, please let me know and I'll do my best to record, upload, and edit them. However, we will be looking for redemption as we go back to our roots, rejoining the MBA. There are various graphic artists I want to thank for ensuring that my video is going to be looking its best. High Velocity Boy did the MBA rebrand, in particular the logos and Twitter infographics, and gosh do they look good. Secondly, Manny, who did the MBA draft analysis slides, which look amazing and will be included in this video. Phil Ben Standish is my go-to logo maker when it comes to what I use. He did the New South Wailmers logo and I'm still very happy with how it turned out. Secondly, the doc owner is Nick from the UPA, who made the doc look amazing, and I know that a good doc is the secret to any good league success. Thirdly, I want to give a shout out to the people who helped me draft and build. The FO members, Khaz helped me draft a little bit, but when it comes to having front office members in the same league as you, I generally opt to go against it. When it came to drafting, I decided that it's always good to hit up my good mate Khaz when it comes to those low tier picks. And secondly, Carson, also known as Golden Centurion, who's recently come back into draft format and is in the UPA with me. He's currently 4-0 with me. I think that he's a very valuable guy to ask team building advice from. UPA was a points-based draft, with coaches given 120 points and 2 to 4 Z captains equating to 25 points or Z budget. Instead of being the most common NPL points tier list, it was a tier list devised by Khaz, in which my personal opinion is that he lowered the value of a lot of the top tier threats but raised the Pokemon that are criminally underrated. For example, Landorus Incarnate is 16 points, in contrast to Gothrader being 5 points. I also think that by implementing a new tier list helps individuals draft new Pokemon, and also keeps things fresh, as with the short season, we can use other Pokemon besides Gyarados! This season of MBA, there was a vote on 3 controversial Pokemon to be allowed, being Mega Metagross, Mega Latias, and Deoxys Defense. Mega Metagross has been a Pokemon in the MBA which we've allowed due to often struggling with 4 move slot syndrome and finding niche counters for it. For example, Birb's infamous double static core with Sunfisk and Zapdos to ensure he had a chance v Hail. The second Pokemon demonstrates the sexism in the Pokemon tier list, as we allow Mega Latias to join in, but not its sister. The added bulk of Mega Latias is what makes it more annoying to deal with. However, I perceive we should not reward offense and allow its offensive counterpart, and not more stally partner. Thirdly, Deoxys Defense was a ban vote brought forward by Khaz, as a comparable bulk of a DoD isn't that great, and it's an over-glorified hazard setter. I really hope Khaz doesn't take Deoxys Defense. Now these bans are crucial to understanding the way in which I came up in my draft plan. However, just to let you guys know, I drafted or help draft 4 different teams, in which I want to cover my thought process in each of them. Just to let you guys know, I drafted or helped draft 4 different teams, in which I want to cover my thought process in each of them. These 4 teams are the New South Wailmers, Pittsburgh Naganadels, coached by Skwa, the Guadalajara Delphox, coached by Emmanuel, and the Murfreesboro Milotics, coached by Roaring. The first team concept I had consisted of Mega Mawile, Scolipede, Thundy, Hydreigon, Dugtrio, Silvally, Vaporeon, Pugly, Abomasnow, Dusclops, and Claydol. And coming up with this team concept, I realized how good Mega Mawile is in draft format. It has defensive typing, offensive capabilities, and even when burnt, it has a base 105 attack stat. When planning drafts, I find putting Pokemon on a sub-tier focus to help counter the most common round 1 picks really helps. The Volt Turn Core, Trick Room option, and Dugtrio trapping would help Mega Mawile feel at its true potential. When it came to my draft strategy, I came up with a plan to take each pick in a sort of mental order. I was placed 15th in the draft order, so essentially I had a wheel pick. I decided that the strategy I was going to take was I would prioritize which Pokemon I wanted more for. I'd prioritize a Pokemon I wanted more, and then pray Sork doesn't snipe me, because mathematically it's a 1 in 16 chance I would be sniped by Sork, and trust to the other 15 coaches before me. I also knew that if I didn't get Mega Mawile, I would wait as long as possible before drafting my Mega, as I like a round 1 or round 12 Mega. If I prioritized something highly, and the other 3 teams wanted it, I would grab that. And that way I can rejig my draft to suit myself. This also occurred because I knew that the likelihood I could find a backup for my Pokemon would occur. That's why certain Pokemon will look weird in the earlyhood or lateness of certain picks. Now it's time for my draft. My first pick was the main focal point of the draft being Mega Mawile, in which nothing really needs to be said that hasn't been aforementioned. The second pick, in my opinion, is the best offensive Volt Switch user in the game, being Thunderous Therian. And in combination with Mega Mole, can handle most perfect coverage cores, and addition a good Volt Switch user into Mega Mole, and provides a good electric community while helping whittle down bulky waters. When it came to my round 3 pick, I prioritized Hydreigon. As it was a U-turn option, but more importantly was the basis for my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I think the defensive capabilities of Hydreigon matched with mixed offense really helps Mega Mole shine while covering its two biggest weaknesses. Round 4, I was debating on certain Pokemon, but I ended up choosing Infernape as it provided rocks, mixed offense, and compounds a ground weakness. But it was another very offensive U-turn user. The bulky water issue sort of gets eaten alive by the Thundy T. Each round I was debating on which Pokemon would I grab to get the Pokemon with the trapping role. Although Goth went early, I knew the only one with the trapping strategy would be Khaz. I decided to gamble Dog Trio based on the knowledge Sork already took round 2 Guard Jump. My round 5 pick was Starmie, as it was a very offensive Rapid Spinner and has a unique niche, being I think it can be avoided being punished for Rapid Spin with Reflect type. This speed tier was really important as I wanted 2 Pokemon over base 110 speed. Round 6 we got our base 120 speed tier in accordance with Padonis and Draft Tips, acquiring Doggy to help trap pesky fires. As the only real Mega Mobile check in Standard Play is Heatran as it relies on Focus Punch to beat it, it will also punish electric types who immediately try to threaten out Starmie. Round 7 we got our fattest shit annoyance being Blissey. Everybody hates Blissey, but I'd rather have a Ghost Immunity, Rocks, Wish, and a reliable way to chip down Pokemon and a Cleric. Round 8 is probably one of the most wild round 8 picks you'll see in a long time as I grabbed Credilli. I settled with the notion early I wanted late game Hail. It was probably the most important Pokemon I wanted that was left. It also provided me with another rocker, and its defensive bulk of 86, 97, and 107 is really nice, with a few very niche setup options being SD and Curse, while also providing rocks and having reliable recovery. Round 9 I want to get my Hail option earlier, being Vanillix. Shout out for Khaz, as this pick was originally a Bomb Snow. How Vanillix has the 5th strongest non-Mega Ice type Ice Shard in the game, which is what I want. I really like Ice Shard because it helps beat the more common Dragon Dance users in the format, and it also gives me a really nice Blizzard option. In round 10, in the words of the great Nicholas Bingham, I got the Cleaner, aka Gypsy King, aka Venomoth, as I needed a win con on the team, which with one Quiver Dance could win a game. Lucky for me, Venomoth is still free, and doesn't really need too much info as it will be a Pokemon that you'll see on my last few draft plans. In round 11, I got the infamous Beartic. It's a phenom in my eyes with a base 130 attack set and a variety of different coverage moves with Aqua Jet priority. This also helps with the team's very apparent fire weakness, as Aqua Jet can really come in clutch late game. It also has a lot of potential, I think, and then it hasn't been really utilized before because it does need a Weather Setter to help increase its speed stat, but I definitely believe in the bear. And round 12, I grabbed Lampert as a Memento Pokemon and Trick Room option. I originally had Misdreavus, but it was over my budget, and yeah, it really sucked. Earlier in the video I mentioned I helped draft 4 teams. We've just covered the first one, and the other 3 people don't upload, but I really want to give you guys an insight into how I help them, and the sort of way in which my brain mentally processes draft picks. The first draft I helped was Roaring. Roaring is a really good friend of mine. I think we played in our first NBA season together in NBA Season 6 or Season 7 of Lola. And he's a very funny character to be around. I love Roaring. He always sends me a snap each day, and God bless him. The way that his team sort of functions is that you can probably already see the very devastating Coco Lucha pairing, but on top of that, he also has a very amazing Volt Turn core in Mega Beedrill, Tapu Koko. The reason why Mega B was drafted so late was because everyone picked Megas reasonably early, and by round 4, Roaring realistically knew that he could sit on his Mega pick until later on, and when it came to round 9, the only person who could snipe him was Bronson, in which that he took the round 9 Mega Beedrill because the other 3 picks he had, no one really wanted. Now, on top of that, Miltank is his Ghost Immunity, which is a really nice Pokemon. I think it's probably arguably the best lower tier pick in any draft format. He also has a really interesting one in round 5 Vaporeon. The main reason for that was, as I mentioned in my draft plan, I wanted Vaporeon. And I knew that, realistically, I did not want to play Mega Lati plus Vaporeon. So Roaring grabbed it round 5. It has a lot of very interesting options. Also Typhlosion. Typhlosion has the ability of Nature Power and Flash Fire to also help out his draft. And the final pick is probably Barbaracle. Barbaracle is a Pokemon that I believe is heavily slept on, as the combination of Z moves plus Shell Smash can mean that it can take out some of even the most bulky walls. The +2 Continental Crush from a Barbaracle is a roll to Oko Tangrowth, which is definitely a very interesting sort of calc. The second team I helped draft was the Guadalajara Delphox, coached by Emmanuel. Now, this team had one very simple premise behind it. It had a Mega Lopunny and Hoop Runbound, as in Season 7, I think it was, or Season 6, Emmanuel, when he first joined the league, went undefeated in his first full season until the final. And the 3 mons he used to spearhead that was Mega Lop, Hooper U, and Lando T. Now, the interesting sort of picks would be the round 3, round 4, regular Sizzle, and Raikou. That's really predominantly because one of the best sort of Volt Turn calls in UU at the moment is Sizzle Raikou. It also provides some really nice speed stats and coverage options. The other interesting pick he sort of got was Blossom. There's a few Summer Showdowns ago, or March Madnesses, that I helped TTM Dancer use Blossom, and it went like 13 and 3 or something ridiculous. Just the option of Quiver Dance and also Strength Sap is definitely another unique move. Shelgon is an interesting Wish Passer, and it also has some really nice defensive capabilities, as well as the option of DD. I thought that on Manny's team, a defensive dragon could really help out his type synergy. And he also has round 12 Regigigas, which I know that there'll be a week where I start swearing and cursing at myself as I get annoyed at that silly Regigigas. And the final draft I helped with was the Pittsburgh Naganadel, coached by Skwa. This is a very interesting draft because it has a round 1 Zorua. Now, the reason that this Zorua went round 1 is a few different things. Firstly, Skwa likes testing out new Pokemon for himself, and I definitely agree with that sentiment. Sometimes it's better if you don't know how to judge a threat to take it yourself, and I knew that if it lasted round 2, I was going to take it, and I think that Zorua is realistically a late round 2, early round 3 pick. However, I can definitely see arguments for why I'd go round 1, round 2. Coincidentally, when Skwa got it round 1, it sniped Noah and a bunch of other dudes that wanted it round 1, round 2. Definitely think it was a good pickup. The round 3 Mega Gyarados is a very interesting pick because I think he could have waited on a lot longer, but he was at work at the time and Ez took Mega Gyarados for him pretty early. Mega Gyarados, I think, is probably one of the more underrated Megas in this format, only because of the fact that a strong Dark is really needed with the 2 controversial unbans, but also as well, when you compare Mega Gyarados and Mimikyu, Mimikyu is a Pokemon that has historically done really well in every league I've seen it used in. I think I'm the only person who's used it poorly, just because of the axis of SD, and also you have the sort of free turn to set up, which can definitely help out a majority of drafts. Also, the round 6 Crobat. Crobat is a Pokemon historically used to be drafted a lot because of its speed tier, sort of fallen off the bandwagon a little bit, but I definitely think the option of Infiltrator of Crobat can really help it out in a pinch. And the final mon I want to talk about is the Munchlax. Munchlax really functions as a baby Snorlax, and for 1 point, it's such a steal. That's pretty much it for this video. However, if you do want more daily doses of MBA content, or want to get a fix of MBA, there's definitely some links in the description to help you out with that. Firstly, the MBA has its own Twitter account and Facebook account, so if you want to like those pages, definitely check them out. The updates will be posted up there, like when it comes to weekly scores, top kill leaders, and also the standings each week, so you can stay up to date with that. Also, we plan to stream 1 game a week on twitch.tv, stream 1 game a week on twitch.tv/MBA_draft_league. I think that's the correct link. The link will be in the description below on a Saturday or Sunday American time, just because we think that it's definitely going to be rewarding for a lot of the old NBA vets who have been around. Now, on top of that as well, definitely check out any coach in the description. I definitely will recommend that you check out myself, more so if you want to do that. However, definitely check out the other guys. Anything means. I definitely recommend that you check out the other content creators in this league, because there is going to be a bunch of them. There's some people that you probably already know, some people you haven't checked out, but I definitely think that there's going to be a very strong level of competition this season, and I really like that because I thrive off competition, as weird as it seems. The stronger the competition, the more I definitely will be spending more and more time. My preps, my battles. I will try to get a team builder up each week. However, I don't know the format I want to do on that. I still am trying to figure out how to record my screen so I can get battles done on a timely manner. But in saying that, I hope you guys are excited for this. I definitely want to thank everyone yet again who's made this possible. The links and everything will be in the description below. But until next time, next Thursday I think it is American, get ready for our week 1 battle. We take on the Southampton Staraptors, and you know that me v Flips is one of the most anticipated rivalries. My last draft league game of NBA, second last actually, I beat Flips for the first time. He is like 5-1 against me, in which is probably the most one-sided, dominated fixture list of all time. And I'm going to be making it number 2, hopefully by next week. So guys, have a great day, and make sure to tune in next week. Until next time, peace.